Gitu deh. Aduh, so this is my case building paper, guys. I will be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Can you imagine having no one to care for anymore because you won't pick up a fight, you won't put up some effort to defend, to protect the people you love the most, the humanity you love the most, the earth you love the most. And that is why I am proud to propose the prevention on Dwi Bangga's birth. 2 points of clarification. A. You might say that Dwi Bangga is a Gajayana being, a creature that made the Tatsakas. How could they get rid of the thing that creates them in the first place? And B. We don't even know how to get rid of Dwi Bangga. Okay, let's answer them one by one. A. There is a misconception in this thinking process because at the end of the day, this debate is not like the real world. Like, have you seen Gajayana just like walking around, just hanging around, or like Tatsakas shopping on Block M or something? You know, right? The Gajayana is a godlike entity that's capable of creating lives. Sure, but just because the Gajayana is a godlike cosmic entity whatsoever, that doesn't necessarily mean they're just the same with a real life god like Jesus or Allah, for example, where they can control even your destiny and fate in life. The gods in the real world wasn't able to be seen with your raw eyes. Meanwhile, in this motion, the godlike entity could have been born. Therefore, it is like safe to assume that they are visible in our eyes. Like, if they are visible, maybe they have like some muscles or bones or flesh, or maybe they're made of something along with the nature, like branches or water, for example. Basically, to keep it simple, if they are visible, have a physical body, then it is safe to assume that they can be hurt and killed, or in this case, aborted. Now, the B point. We don't even know how to get rid of Dwi Bangga. Okay, so the Tatsaka is a group of superpowered entities and immortal beings. It doesn't really matter if they're like a big group, like a massive group, like thousands and thousands of people, or is it just like a bunch of people, like just 20 Tatsakas, or maybe even 11 Tatsakas, or 9 Tatsakas. What matters is that there are more than one of them. What does that mean? It means they won in the term of quantity, if compared to Dwi Bangga, which is safe to assume that just a singular Gajayana. So, you might argue that Dwi Bangga won in the term of quality, where they're like being higher in the god hierarchy in this world. Like, they're much stronger, they're a cosmic entity, yada yada yada. Dwi Bangga in the status quo was just being born. Do note that Dwi Bangga just born, bro. They're quite literally a baby with little to zero knowledge about this world. Meanwhile, the Gajayanas that made the Tatsakas were arguably the adults in the Gajayana world. Saying a baby with a knowledgeable adult the same is a horrible assumption. But even if the baby Dwi Bangga was born with the same amount of power the adult Gajayanas, our side could still win nonetheless. Why? Because big powers doesn't necessarily mean they're knowledgeable. It is safe to assume that there will be a great war to prevent Dwi Bangga to be born. At the end of the day, the baby will be fighting a whole massive group, or maybe just a whole group in general, of grown Tatsakas that's far more knowledgeable than the baby. They could make war strategy. They could make plans. They could make some safety nets on how to prevent Dwi Bangga from destroying this world. What could the baby do? They can definitely not think of a way to make the Tatsaka's plan fail, because at the end of the day, they're just born. Could the baby compare with the computer with a database? Of course not, right? Not to mention, Gajayana is not an all-knowing being. The Tatsakas won in the term of earth knowledge, such as economics, war strategies, etc., because they're the one that live alongside of humans for a long period of time. There's no telling if Gajayanas was the one making the humans too. If it was rightfully confirmed, then it is safe to assume that the Gajayana might programmed humans, i.e. on how they talk, their specialties, etc. With those knowledge, they might have a chance to defeat the Tatsakas because Dwi Bangga will be far more superior in terms of power and knowledge. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, it wasn't confirmed. Now, moving on to my argument. My singular argument, Dwi Bangga is a baby or a fetus that could wreak havoc in this world. Therefore, it is urgent to get rid of it ASAP. Okay, so Dwi Pangga is a dangerous Gajayana being that could destroy the earth by simply its existence in this world. Let's assume that this baby immediately have their power from the get-go. At the end of the day, Dwi Pangga is still a baby. Babies doesn't know how to handle their emotion or even their tendencies to bond like a parasite, or even like their tendency to born like a parasite to its guardians. In this scenario, Tripanga doesn't even have a guardian. They don't have the one that teaches them things. They don't know what things are wrong, what things are right, because there's nobody to tell them. uh, doesn't know Dwipanga doesn't know Dwipanga was alone. Dwipanga doesn't know anything about this world. A being so powerful with little to zero emotional maturity might even bring more impact in this world. The longer we take time of leisure to let this baby grow, uh, without a guardian or teacher, they're still guaranteed to bring destruction due to their emotional immaturity. Take Anisha, for example. When he was born, he immediately broke havoc in the city that might spread to his country if his guardians let him be. A powerful being with a guardian, three guardians by the way, Neja has three guardians, lets him until like Neja even destroy lots and lots of stuff since he was a baby. Who knows what a god like baby Dwipanga could do? Even if they has a guardian, it doesn't really guarantee humanity's safety and the earth's safety because they were born with a godlike cosmic ability, unlike Neja with just a powerful ability since he was a baby. Even if Dwipanga was born without the power, we still must make them perish because the longer the wait, the more power they might harvest. Without anyone's guide, the destruction scale could possibly go up from just the earth and humanity to the universe. Okay, so side opposition might say that it's not Tatsaka's responsibility whatsoever to take care of Vipanga. Okay, but if it's not their part responsibility, then who is? The Gajayanas? We can't even tell if they care for the earth, even. The Tatsakas cares. The Tatsaka in fact cares. Would you rather have the possibility of your loved one and your cherished one perish into non-existence just because it's not my responsibility? At the end of the day, the Tatsakas were the one to brace the biggest impact in this scenario. So what's the pain on at least trying to protect what you care? So, a little bit of weighing, side opposition, best scenario, none. Worst case scenario, the destruction of the earth. Our side, best side scenario, back to our original life. Yay, Dwipaga is dead. Worst case scenario, okay, the destruction of the earth. Okay, so why our side is better than up? Because at least we've tried to protect our loved one by trying to prevent Dwipanga's birth. In oppositions, they didn't do anything and just let it be. At the end of the day, at least the government side had tried and put on effort, which is why I am proud to propose.